We've got our first guest review. It's of the Smith Shapes Big Rig. Take it away, Mark.
Hi, my name's Mark, and I'm here to give you a review of the Big Rig by Smith Shapes. I've been chatting to Scott with Big Guy Boards, and we've both been looking at these boards for quite a bit. Great anticipation of them coming into the UK, so I managed to get my hands on one. I've been out on a trip on this to Ireland. I surfed this in good waves for a full week. We had from sort of chest high waves all the way through to well overhead, and then recently with the big swell that we've had here in the UK as well, I got a chance to get back out on it in some sort of sucky, wedgy kind of waves as well, just to give me, so I've got a real good feel now of where I'm at with this board, and so I thought I'd do a quick review and tell you all about it. My aims in getting hold of one of these boards is that I've been riding slightly smaller boards for quite a while, and then last winter I damaged all my shortboards and ended up riding a 6'4" Paizel Ghost for the entire winter, and which was my step up. I was pretty much using it as a shortboard because I had nothing else, and I really wanted to get back to a board that gave me the performance to feel, nice bit of release off the tail and what have you, having surfed that pintail for quite a while. But also I want to get into waves nice and easy because I've got used to the extra length and the extra foam involved in having that bigger board. The Big Rig is designed for bigger guys, so it was quite an easy board to look at, and from watching all the sort of stab in the darks and things with like Jordy, when he rated his dad's board pretty highly on that, and all the reviews I've heard of Graham Smith shaping, I'm massively excited to get my hands on this. So, give you a bit of an idea on the board. It's got slightly wider nose, a little bit wider on the tail from about 18 inches either end. Gives you a lot more paddle power to get in on the front end, and obviously it maintains a lot of speed through the back end with that extra width coming in at this area. However, the tail does pull in quite nicely into a really nice squash. There's fairly moderate entry rocker, but the fact that this has got a wider nose, I've not caught it once, anything like this. It's felt really nice to surf. I think there's a little bit of flip in the nose, so when you do get into a bit of a steeper wave, it handles it perfectly fine. It's not like your typical sort of wider nose board where you're going to catch on those steeper waves. The other thing that I will mention while we're in this area of the board is the rails. Obviously, because there's a wider board and there's a lot of foam hidden up here around the stringer area as well, to give it that extra float in the water for us sort of bigger guys, is getting that rail engaged. These rails really taper down. There's a really hard down rail on this board going in, and the sharp point of the rail is right up here, so really pretty high up the board. It really engages. As I said, I surfed it in various conditions, and it really did grip the wave and let me sort of dig into my turns. And then as we go towards the back end of the board, you've got a little bit of flip in the tail as well, so you got a nice bit of release. So I'm going to aim to give you a really good overview of the bottom of this board now. I'll move the camera around a bit, and fingers crossed you'll get a good view and there'll not be too much shadow on this. So front of the board, as you can see, there's a bit of nice bit of flip in the nose there, and you've also got a really nice single concave that's running down the length of that board there, and opens through into then a double concave as you get into the fins in this area here. As we get towards the tail of the board, there's a really good V coming out of that back fin, and you can see in there those concaves as well, and the V there. What I will say is, obviously, with this board, there is a nice bit of flip in the tail as well that I mentioned before. You can see that on this section here as I'm holding the camera there. You can see where that tail flips up. The other feature that I really like with these tail pads that I picked up from Smithwell's is these little cutouts here. They really let the tail pad mould around the board, which is a problem that I generally have with my tail pads. Tend to lift around here because I like to get them really far back on the board, and these little cutouts just really let it curve around there, and gives it that nice grip to the board. In summary, with this board, for me, this is my favourite shortboard I've ridden to date. Really, it is super fast. That is the one thing I can't express enough. It just gets up, goes off the mark like a race car. I feel confident on it. There was days where I've been surfing in bigger waves and sort of wishing I was back on this rather than my step up, to be quite honest, just with how fast it paddles into the wave and how it gets me in there, and I can hold my turns fine, everything's there. But it also gives me what I've been looking for in the shortboard for a while, and what I've missed riding those tighter tailboard, which is release on the turns, you know, that you like from your performance boards. This board is going to be in the category with things such as your Paizel Phantom XLs, your Uber Driver XLs, and that sort of remit. I've ridden both of those boards. I've also had things such as your Lost Short Rounds for quite a while as well. This board for me is beating those. It gives me everything I want in the bottom end right the way through, but it's faster than all of them, and it really just engages. It's just great fun to ride. I encourage you to go out and give one a try. These are in the UK, available from smithshapes.co.uk, .com for anybody looking internationally. I believe there's a fair few retailers starting to stock these now around the world, but they're absolutely stunning boards, and I encourage you to go and give one a try.